Hey guys, welcome to another week of Elevated Astrology. We're going to be covering the week from April the 7th on Monday all the way to April the 13th Sunday. That's going to include the Libra full moon, Venus stationing direct, and Mercury stationing direct. So welcome on in if you haven't met me already. I am Madam President of the 𝚑𝚊𝚗𝚕𝚎, Natalie, spelled Natalee. This is Elevated Astrology. It's different from other astrology that you see on every platform, and the main difference is that we, energy masters and leaders, the 𝚑𝚊𝚗 community on Patreon, see and live through a very different perspective. So our astrology, for instance, this weekly is going to be a very big divergent report from YouTube to the one that's over on Patreon. So we are leaders and energy masters, which means that we operate through a positive polarity of perception. Whereas all the other astrology that you see, everyone else on all of the platforms giving you the astrology is from a negative polarity perception. So that means that the astrology is happening to them. Events, life is happening to them. Whereas energy masters and the positive polarity perception, reality is happening from us. We are not in the world, we are the world. So it's very, very different. And when I do the weeklies over on Patreon, I also include technique throughout me talking about the astrology and the transits. So it's, like I said, it's very, very different. If you are into lucid dreaming, astral projection, telekinesis, remote viewing, you belong with us on Patreon. We are your soul family. If you are into manifestation, timeline shifting, you belong with us over on Patreon. We are your soul family. You're already like veering into having more agency and more, I don't want to say control over your life, because it goes very much beyond that, but you are already veering into the positive perception of life, the positive polarity perception. So it's $11.11 every month, and I adjusted the price for that's been $11.11 a month for like months now. And I do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, I want to make it accessible to everyone. And number two, it's pride of ownership. You having skin in the game, you having ownership of your education and instruction, and really taking it seriously as like your own thing. So when I first started the 𝚑𝚊𝚗 back in 2019, I sold my first screenplay in 2018, and I was able to do it for free because I still had money from selling my first screenplay. And so then the money ran out. And so, but then the YouTube took off, and everyone was like asking me for readings. And so, everything kind of changed. So because money is such a strong psychological symbol for support and value, I also want to thank every single one of my patrons, everybody that supports the 𝚑𝚊𝚗 over on Patreon in any way, shape, or form. Everyone here on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe so that the algorithm pushes this out to people that are looking for us, to people that are looking for me, to people that are looking for this community. Which, by the way, we are celebrating such milestones in this community. We just had our first person with their first telekinesis breakthrough. They're moving things with their mind. They're moving foil. Almost everybody over on Patreon, I'm getting so much feedback that everyone's really catching on with lucid dreaming, remembering their dreams, having a very vivid, active dream life. So we have a telekinesis workshop that I put up on Friday, and I think I'm going to do another one for Monday. I think I will do another exercise for telekinetic energy, for kinetic consciousness, so this is one of the things. So for the weekly, for you guys on YouTube, it's about letting people fail. This whole week, letting people fail. People are either going to hit the ground running on Monday and move forward and start taking care of business as soon as possible in the best case scenario. And in the worst case scenario, they're going to drag it out a whole other week. And it's going to be like long and painful, and they're not going to move or act or do anything until the very end of the week. but you have to let them fail. You have to let them make the bad decision. You have to let them learn on their own in their own time. Now, the weekly over on Patreon is going to be a whole different vibe because we are leaders and we are energy masters. And for us over there, this week is going to be about like crystallizing and stabilizing momentum, like building something to stand the test of time. So, for instance, like this past week, and it's kind of been gaining, but really this past week, my community, my comrades, my people are all like really blooming with their progress, their kinetic consciousness, their out of body projections. So for us this week, I'm just like crystallizing that and using that momentum that's been building to stabilize and concretize something very special happening. So if that resonates more with you, Patreon, 11 a month, and welcome on in, soul family. So, okay, so let's get back to the YouTube. So, what generally, like the most common denominator and what I've been seeing this week requires people to make a hard decision to turn something around. This is like part of the turnaround that's been just like so many months in the making. So, if so, you want to forgive the limitations of other people to move on so that you don't make their limits your limits. And it's going to be, that's what's going to be like the vibe I'm getting, like for the average human this week. Remember Romeo and Juliet, or like Romeo plus Juliet? I don't know how to say the name of that movie, but remember when like it started, the movie starts with him like, crying over some girl, like Amelia or something. Like he's like, he's like, oh, and like he's really in pain over it. He's at the beach and he's like, oh, he's writing his little journal. He's really, really upset. And it's like right before he meets Juliet. This is that week where it's this long, drawn out, I'm sorry. I don't like if you guys are like really depressed because you lost your job or you're going through a breakup, and I don't want to seem like I'm being like not compassionate. I'm the Sarah Connor mom. Like I can just tell. Like when my sons come to me, like, hey, mom, I'm gonna be like, bro, it's not that deep. Like you're gonna be okay. So, but this week, you guys, this is that week. This is that week where Romeo is just like feeling his feelings, or or they hit the ground running Monday. But it's gonna be one or the other. It's gonna be Monday. Honestly, okay, here's the thing. Monday is when you'll know. Monday is when you know, like, oh my God, I gotta cancel the family vacation, but I'm not gonna tell them until Friday, Saturday. But you know Monday. Monday's like, man, this isn't working. I'm gonna break up with them. But you're not gonna tell them until Friday, Saturday. But you're gonna know Monday, like, damn. Monday is gonna be the day with Mercury stationing direct where, damn, this is okay. So it's either like people are gonna hit the ground running on Monday when they know, or they're gonna know and they're just gonna feel the weight of the world on their shoulders for this whole week and be really until the weekend, until the full moon Saturday. Saturday, April the 12th. So so I'm giving you the warning because elevated astrology is probably not going to be elevated for you guys on YouTube. Like it's really probably going to be more of the average human experience this week. So at least I can tell you that though. At least I can, at least I can convey that to you guys. But yeah, this is going to be a week where you guys may have to wait until Sunday, April the 13th. Like you may have to wait till after this weekend to pass before something gets to move forward. And this would be something that we're all going to get to move forward on what should have moved forward in December 2024. It's not the same path we thought we were on. December 2024. And that's been the arc. That's been the Mars retrograde, Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde. That's just been this whole reorientation. Like I said, this week is like for some people making a hard decision to turn something all the way around so that we can move forward. The writing's been on the wall, but people have been just sad about it, resisting it, not wanting to face it, trying to, people that really fucked up their shit during the Mars retrograde are like backpedaling like a motherfucker right now. Like they're the damn, but people have said things that there's no coming back from. People have done things that there's no coming back from. So it's like, if your son's going through something, if you're, unless, but see, here's like the other part of it. Like, not everyone's having like a shit time. Look at Robert Irwin. Typical getting his flowers. He's like blooming. He's like 2021. He's got this like the underwear campaign. It just like blew up the internet. Everyone is talking about it. And he's just like gorgeous and sweet and wholesome still. And so this is like I'm telling you guys, like the spiritual splitting, it's like I know what I'm gonna use as an example when I talk about this week. But so some people it's like been a renaissance, which is what I've been like trying to steer people towards is like bring back your groove, like your inner spark, your inner flame, your own essence, enjoying being who you are, your authenticity, your personal creative passion. Like get your groove back, your renaissance, reconnect with your soul family. And you know what I'm saying? But other people have had to have drawn out dramatic drama. So this is a week where it's just for the average human that's in the negative polarity perception of reality. This is going to be a week where you have to like, you have to let people try this week and fail so that they can learn by the weekend and feel the pain, so that they can fully turn something around, so that they can fully outgrow something. Like Romeo had to be super fucking dramatic, until he really like wakes up because people are not going to perceive an opportunity. They're not going to perceive, they're not going to be a vibrational match to the answer when it's like staring them in the face or when it's like right in front of them or when it's obvious. Einstein said something like that where you cannot be in the same state of being of the problem to find the solution, something like that. Anyway, so you just have to let them try and fail. And for us energy masters and leaders over on Patreon, this is going to be a week of mastery. This is going to be a week where we cement something. So we're writing like that's so it's going to be very, you're going to see people stepping in it this week. Let me tell you that. All right. But don't, like I said, have patience and compassion. Try not to minimize the pain that they're going through. That's just what they have to go through. If it takes them December, January, February, March, 4 months. If it takes him 4 months, it takes him 4 months. And that's just what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. Let's go ahead and start breaking this down day by day. Monday, the 7th of April. Another thing is that you guys here on YouTube are getting one highlight of the day, whereas on the Patreon, I go through all of the transits for each day. Okay, so the highlight for you guys here on YouTube, like the big need to know is Mercury stationing direct, okay? So Mercury's been retrograde for the past couple of weeks, and we are starting a whole new cycle. March 24th is when we had the 𝚑𝚤𝚎 moment, the sun, the king, giving a new instruction, new direction to Mercury. And that seeded a new image, a new ideal. However, that was still Mercury retrograde, taking the time to fully digest those orders. So from that point, from March 24th to April the 7th, it was more like, what's that called when you make like those they're like bouquets of flowers, but it's like an art form. Anyway, so like from March 24th to April 7th, it's like you have your little basket and you're going through your garden and you're like, oh, there's a couple flowers. Oh, I like these colors, and oh, I like that over there. And you're picking some things and you're like, oh, what vase am I going to use? Or like, this looks good. This is an interesting option. This looks cool. Do I want to do it for this? Do I want to do it for that? But you know you want to make the bouquet. You know you want to make the bouquet, and you're just like, you're still getting impressions. You're still getting inspiration and ideas. So if you know you want to work in this industry, maybe you weren't sure like which companies you're going to apply to, or you know you want to have this kind of relationship, but you weren't sure of like who that was going to be with, or you wanted to do something with your family, but not quite sure what's going to work best for like everybody. Kind of like that. So March 24th to April 7th was like, okay, and that's because it was like a very internal, inspirational period because you were still integrating everything you learned from December the 5th. Because that's what was wrapping up that cycle from December the 5th to March the 24th. So you had to integrate all of the cogitation from December the 5th to April 24th, get the new impulse, get the new, okay, I know, okay, now I can see kind of like this general vision, this general idea of what I want, and then let that cook from March 24th to April 7th, holding very lightly and loosely the specifics. So maybe and guys, we're moving forward. It's not the same path that we expected in December. Situations changed, people changed, things have been revealed, we've had changes of heart, changes of mind. Okay, so whole lot has happened. So Monday, with Mercury stationing direct, that change of plans, like I said, the people that are more like with it, they know the change of plan and they're just going to get a head start. They're just like, okay, let's do it. We're setting the stage. We've deliberated. We know what we want. We know what direction we're heading in. We got all the little flowers picked. We got the vase. We got the this. We got the that. Let's just get the show on the road here. That's going to be some people. That's going to be me putting the new telekinesis exercise on my Patreon. When she's in okay, so our comrade that had the telekinesis breakthrough at the end of last week, when she launches her page, I will share her with everyone. And she's ready. So that was something like, ooh, I can see my community, like their little, psychic muscles, like really like flexing. So now I'm going to take that momentum. I'm going to stabilize them. I'm going to really like support that Monday when I come out with my new telekinesis exercise. So you are getting clarity in your life, YouTube. You're getting clarity, and it's going to be the Pisces Aries area of life of like, okay, that's clear. That's obvious. That's a thing. Okay. Are you gonna go? Are you gonna hit the ground running on Monday, or are you going to like hold on to the rotting fruit for a whole nother week? You're gonna be Romeo. That's totally up to you. Totally up to you. totally, but you'll know Monday. Tuesday, April the 8th. Moon's going to go void, of course. And then in the morning, Moon's going to enter Virgo. And that's really it, like the whole day. So, guys, there's also something happening with Venus and Saturn. And that is either going to be like you're building something to stand the test of time, or like, listen, the change of direction, not everyone's happy with. And some people are going to get like consequences and they're going to be boo-hooing about consequences. And so that's just going to be for like some people are just going to be really honestly just like immature. So like honestly, I feel like this week is going to be kind of immature. It's just gonna it's I feel and the people okay, so Tuesday with that Virgo moon, you guys want to practice acceptance and letting go. Don't overthink. Talking might not help. It might not work because people are going to be immature. So it might be overwhelming. I would say I like Tuesday better for business. I like Tuesday's just probably better for business. Wednesday, April the 9th. We really only have one more thing. It's just the Virgo moon squaring Jupiter and Gemini. So this is another thing that I'm saying, like it's really Monday and then the weekend. So people are either hitting the ground on Monday or they're just needing a couple days to like really process and accept that something has to change, that it cannot move forward the way you wanted it to move forward. And then they're going to just put it off until the weekend. So on Wednesday with that moon square Jupiter, you want to reach out to like a mentor or just someone or they're someone needs to help you with perspective, or you may be trying to help somebody else with perspective, but honestly, by the end of day Wednesday, I feel like the average human in the negative perception of polarity, their cognitive dissonance might just break. They might just like snap. So I don't know what you guys think about the Snow White thing with Disney and Rachel Zegler, but I'm Mexican American and I'm speaking purely from the Mexican American Hispanic perspective. It's not called Snow Brown, it's called Snow White. Okay, I speak German. I wanted like a Dita Von Teese kind of Snow White, and so I wasn't really keen on seeing her in that role anyway. But like she totally ruined it for me. Like I wasn't gonna see it because of her energy and just because of like how she was. And if you watch her video that she put out, you can tell she has no idea that it was her. She's just feeling victimized. She's just feeling the loss, like something was taken from her. Her perception, she has no idea. She doesn't get it. She just doesn't get it. I don't know about you, but when that guy came out with that post where he was talking about like his uncle or dad or somebody being like a Disney executive that like flew out to go talk to her, I don't know how people felt about that. It made me feel so affirmed and validated as somebody who aspires to work on big movies. It made me feel so good because it just like restored some faith in me that, good God, at least someone in a position of power and authority is thinking about the team. Good, thank God that all that power and authority hasn't been sublimated to the will of some selfish, immature person that's putting all these jobs on the line, that's putting all of this opportunity like down the drain. Thank God, someone cares about like the team because that's so damaging reputationally for like that's terrible. Like that's really really bad. And to see her walking out with Gal with Rachel Zegler walking out with Gal at the awards thing and her with her like I'm telling you, like her energy is just ugly, so ugly and so off. And I really feel bad for Disney because I feel like Disney really just wanted to entertain people, put out a big, beautiful movie, g gorgeous IP. It's a German story. It's a German fairy tale. And like I said, you watch her video and she doesn't get it. It and I'm not even gonna let her off the hook and say it's youth. No way. You get these child actors that have like been working forever and they're more mature than like everybody else and they know what they're doing. And give me Millie Bobby Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like just so some people like with the turnaround that's happening, they're only going to feel like a victim. They're only going to feel like poor me, but they're going to be the immature, selfish ones that blew up their own spot. Like I'm sure Rachel Zegler's gonna be fine. I'm sure she's gonna do more multi-big budget movies. I'm sure she's gonna be fine. Personally, I don't want to write anything for her. That's very uninspiring. That's ugly to me. What, I'm gonna put her on set, I'm gonna put her in a situation with someone that has a different political ideology or spiritual belief than her, and she's gonna blow up the spot? No way. I'm not, I need to, no. That it's not worth that kind of risk. It's just not. She can't do it. But do you see how she doesn't have like the capability? And this is why we need forgiveness and just like let people have their limitations, but just with kid gloves. Place them over there with kid gloves, with the white Disney gloves. Put them over there. That's why some people are not going to take care of business Monday. They're going to mourn and grieve until the weekend. So I know I'm still on Wednesday. So Wednesday, that moon square Jupiter, some people's cognitive dissonance are really just gonna snap. And they're just gonna be like, what? Are you kidding me? I can't believe this. What? Like they're gonna act like they just didn't see it coming. And so I would never do that. If I were trusted with Disney IP, I would never do that. I would never jeopardize all those jobs, all those families, all those people. But see, this is like leadership consciousness. Leaders eat last. When you're a leader, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable 24/7 because you are having to take people in a brave new world, a brave new direction, and they're going to be scared and insecure, and you have to be the one with confidence. And you have to be the one to hold 300. Go watch 300. You have to be the one to hold steady. And you have to know because they're going to get distracted. They're going to get tired. They're going to get hungry. And you have to keep them fed. Leaders eat last. I would never do that to my comrade. I would never do that to my colleague. I would never do that to my husband. Terrible for the reputation. Then the rumors are going to, oh, I know who's really leading this. It's so and so's daughter, cousin, girlfriend, wife, niece. Oh, okay. Okay. Terrible. Shameful. That kind of behavior was, I feel bad for Disney. They could still put out a Snow White movie. If they wanted to, they really could. People want to love Disney. Disney's like Rihanna. It is so much fun to love Rihanna. Like we love to love her. You know what I'm saying? Like we love to love Disney. We love to love Snow White. So I would have not done the seven dwarfs. I would have put seven strong German men. Rammstein. Watch Sonne, the music video for Rammstein. It's epic. It's just, it's everything I would have put seven, yeah, seven German men. I mean, but obviously I'm very, you know, partial. So Wednesday, listen, people, some people have the clarity on Monday. Some of us have had the clarity and we've had to wait for the authorities. We've had to wait for things to play out. We've had to persevere. So Wednesday, I really feel like some people's cognitive dissonance is just going to break. They're going to get overwhelmed. There's going to be some kind of like mental, psychological stuff happening. But the elevated astrology is going to be perspective. It is going to be, whoa, I can do pyrokinesis and I can do aerokinesis and I can do telekinesis. Something is better than I thought it was. This is easier than I thought it was. Wow, look what I can do now. It'll be that kind of a change in perspective, is the elevated astrology for Wednesday. Thursday, April the 10th, there's a lot happening during the day, but I'm going to focus on the evening of Thursday. That is when the moon moves into Libra and opposes Neptune and Aries. I'm really excited for this. So if people hit the ground running on Monday, they're going to be kind of inspired throughout the week. And they're going to have an end of the week that is very healing and affirmative and like supporting the changes that they've had to make. The end of Thursday, once the moon goes into Libra, it's full moon vibes. In that opposition to Neptune, relationships are either inspiring to you or they're draining you. There's like a new direction that is really being lit up. And it's going to be, wow, this is really bad for me. This is really hurting me. This is really driving me crazy. I can't live like this. And it pushes people to the full moon. And it completes, they have to learn the hard way. You have to let them try and fail. So by Thursday night, they could be like drained and like at their wits' end. Or people are going to be the elevated astrology is that you're so inspired by your relationships. You love your family, your comrades, your people, your spouses, your partners, and it's like a whole new world, brave new world. And they're cozy and they're supportive and you're cozy and it's kumbaya. Friday, April the 11th, we have really early in the morning, the moon in Libra trines Pluto in Aquarius. The elevated astrology is that your relationships are empowering. I'm losing the light already. It's that your relationships are very empowering and that you are like able to do more. You're able to do more, go farther, and kind of even do better than you've been able to do before. They're taking you to new places, to new levels. They're helping you be yourself even better. Your average human, they're probably going crazy. They're probably wrapped up in fear and insecurity, and they're spinning like there's like a stir crazy energy. And they have no inner peace. They're not at peace with themselves, and they're sharing that misery with you. Misery loves company. And so again, some people are trying to get out of that, trying to like, and it's also a build up to next week too. Like the week after the full moon is going to be very productive. So some of us are going to have to wait for, for people to get to the full moon so that next week we can move forward on what should have moved forward in December. Which brings me to Saturday, April the 12th, the full moon. This is where the breaking point is for some people that knew on Monday, but they had to let it play out in a painful way all the way to the weekend where you're too far apart. People have limits. People just do not have the capacity, closure, moving on, like to overcome it, to, like letting it play out long and dramatic and letting everybody else suffer with you so that you can get closure and that you can move on. Some people are going to be super depressed. Venus goes direct on Saturday. This is like we're taking a different path because it's just what's best for the long run. The elevated astrology is that it's so healing, that this is going to be a healing full moon by the end of the week, where it's going to be more. Some people are going to be like Rachel Zegler this week, and the weekend's going to be Rachel Zegler to the 10th power. And then some people are going to be Robert Irwin, getting their flowers. They're wholesome and they're good. They have a good heart, a good spirit, a good soul, and they're looking and they're just like blooming like little flowers. So, what will determine that, Natalie? What have you been up to December, January, February, March? People's true colors showed, especially January, February. End of January, especially end of January going into February. It wasn't until the end of February that people started to kind of like really reconsider their relationships, though. Really deeply reconsider. The writing was on the wall, though. People should have really let go middle of March because it was really obvious from mid-March to now. So this is when it's going down. Saturday is a full moon. Venus stations direct. It's and then the week next week is like some people are getting it going Monday this week, or some people are waiting for it to blow up this next weekend, and then they're going to get it going next week. For us on the Patreon, this full moon, it's not going to be the wounding, it's going to be the healing. It's going to be Robert Irwin because we have so much momentum built up. That's what we've been doing December, January, February, March. We've been working and working and working, and we finally hit a breakthrough, a collective breakthrough for our group. And now it's just about keeping that momentum. So for us, we're going to have like a crescendo moment for that full moon. That's where how I'm guiding us in our group consciousness. Rachel Zegler, Robert Irwin. Okay, that's what I want you to like think in your mind. April the 13th on Sunday. The moon in Scorpio squares Pluto in Aquarius. Dang, I lost like all the light. Okay, so we're going to be excited over on the Patreon. We're going to be like excited with our own like power, our own selves, like what we're doing and what we're capable of and what we're doing next. And like it's going to be exciting and new. And listen, Sunday is the day. Moving forward from Sunday is when we can really move forward from what should have been able to move forward December 2024, because all of the planets will be direct. It's not the same path that we thought we were on in December 2024. Situations changed, jobs change, maybe products have changed, projects change, situations have changed, people have changed, relationships have changed, locations have changed, like all these, all these other little things have changed, but we're still moving forward. Your average human in the negative perception of polarity, and what you're probably going to see very commonly is power struggles. People being afraid, people being in fear, people wrestling for like Rachel Zegler with the arms at the awards show with Gal. Like, is that like being insecure that you're super like a lot shorter than her? Like, what was that? Like, just that mean girl energy is it's just so ugly and embarrassing, terrible for the reputation. Talking about Snow White like that, like it was just it's just really bad. And she doesn't see it, and that's what I'm trying to explain. So I'm not trying to like put her out there like that. I'm trying to use her as a symbol that if you're letting go of a bad situation, the other person's probably not going to understand. They're not going to see it. They're not going to get it. But you're going to see it. You're going to get it. Their bad behavior has been all over the place. December, January, February, and March. You've been holding on to it, trying to turn them around, and you're not getting that the turnaround, it's not what you think it is. So this is that acceptance and being Romeo, you know, like the whole weight of the world on your shoulders and everything. But listen, if it's not meant for you, it's not going to last. That role wasn't for her. She wasn't like really. Now listen, I read some comments. Some people loved her in it. Some people loved the Snow White movie. So I didn't see it, but maybe it's amazing. Maybe it's wonderful. It's not my Snow White though. It's not mine, not me, not for a few, you know, some other people. But this is the week where you've got to let people try and fail. Try to hold on like the living dead, holding on to something that's like already ended. It's like when you break up with someone and you read, what do they say? Like when you break up, it's actually been over for half the amount of time of the relationship. So if you're together 6 years, it's really been over for 3 years. If you're together 1 year, it's really been over for 6 months. Like that. That's what this week is. It's like rotten fruit, you know? It's just like done. Anyway. So yeah, some but they're not, but that's what I'm saying. Like they're gonna be Rachel Zegler. They're gonna be bitter, angry, resentful, blaming you, blaming this, blaming them, blaming her, blaming him. But then you're gonna have this on the other hand, you're gonna have some people, some of us being really excited, you know, like some kind of blooming, some Robert Irwin blooming of like a new frontier, a new way of expressing yourself, a new way of showing your energy to the world. But from Sunday, April the 13th onward is when we can be in new territory. But it's like some people may still be kind of grieving what they had to let go of. Like, oh, I didn't want to move, but I had to move. I didn't want to break up, but I had to break up. I didn't want to have this talk with my son or daughter, but I had to have this talk with my son or daughter. And like, oh, it might be kind of heavy, but it's the only way that you're going to get it. It's the only way that, like, if people do the Romeo thing and just drag it out for another week, that's the only way they're going to learn. That's the only way they're going to get it. It's the only way they're going to outgrow it, get their own kind of closure, making it as deeply painful as they need to make it for themselves, so that this next great thing can start to happen. You have to let them try and fail. For us over on the Patreon, it's about riding the momentum and stabilizing the progress. I'm so excited. And we're going to be persevering, and we're going to keep creating because we're creators, consciously creating. Okay, that's what I got for you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing week. And when you guys are ready for the next level, manifesting, timeline shifting, developing your psychic abilities, and doing all the other cool, fun stuff, we're over on the Patreon, patreon.com/𝚑𝚑𝚗𝚎. Have a beautiful, lovely week, everybody. Make sure that if you want to see live in-person telekinesis demonstrations, make sure you are following on the YouTube, on the TikTok, on the Instagram for your entry into the raffle. I love you guys. Take very good care, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Mwah.